Listen to me. Look me in the eyes and understand what I'm about to say, because it's not just words. It's a truth. It's a reality. And the faster you understand it, the quicker you'll step out of the prison that's holding you back. Fear, yeah, I'm talking about fear. The thing that creeps into your mind at night, the thing that makes your heart race, that makes your body freeze. Fear's real, all right. But the question is, what are you going to do about it? Because here's what I know. You can either run from it or face it. And every time you choose to run, you're letting fear win. You're handing it the keys to your life and saying, go ahead, lock me in. You're letting it keep you small, keep you silent, keep you from what you could be. But when you face it, when you finally decide that you're done running, you take that power back. You show fear that it may be big, but it's not bigger than you. Now, I'm not saying it's easy. Let's be clear, this isn't about comfort. This isn't about staying in that safe little bubble where nothing can touch you. I'm talking about breaking out of that bubble and stepping straight into the unknown with all the uncertainties, all the discomforts, all the risks. I'm talking about walking toward fear, not away from it, because that's where you find your strength. That's where you find out what you're made of. You see, fear has this way of making you feel small, of making you think that you don't have what it takes, that maybe you're not good enough. Fear is sneaky like that. It whispers to you, filling your head with doubt, making you question every step you take. And if you let it, it'll have you convinced that you should just give up, that it's safer to stay where you are. But I'm here to tell you that's a lie. It's a lie that fear tells you to keep you trapped. Because fear knows that the moment you look it in the eye, the moment you say, I'm done running, it loses its grip. It loses its power. Think about it. Think about every time in your life when you let fear decide for you, when you let it make you turn back, make you play small. What did you lose? What dreams did you bury? What goals did you abandon? And for what? For comfort, for safety. Well, let me tell you something. Comfort is a cage, and safety is just an illusion. There's no growth there, no life. It's just a waiting room, a place where dreams go to die. When you face your fears, you start living. And I mean really living. You start discovering parts of yourself you didn't know existed. You find out that you're stronger than you thought, braver than you thought, more capable than you ever imagined. You find out that you can take the hits, that you can get knocked down and still get back up. And let me tell you, there's nothing more powerful than that. There's nothing more freeing than knowing that no matter what life throws at you, you can handle it. You can face it. And yes, it's going to hurt. It's going to be hard. But that's the price you pay for freedom. That's the price you pay to live on your terms, to be the person you were meant to be. So I'm asking you, are you ready to face your fears? Are you ready to take that first step, to walk into the unknown, to feel that fear and do it anyway? Because if you are, if you're truly ready, then you're about to find out what you're capable of. You're about to find out that you're so much more than your fears. You're about to find out that you have the power to overcome anything that stands in your way. Fear is a powerful thing, is a way of getting under your skin, of holding you back, or making you think that you're less than what you truly are. And it doesn't just show up in big moments. No, it sneaks in, even in the small ones. Every time you hesitate, every time you second guess, every time you back away from something that challenges you, fear is there, pulling the strings, whispering lies. It tells you play it safe. Don't take the risk, stay comfortable. But what kind of life is that? What kind of legacy are you leaving if you let fear make every choice for you? You were not put on this earth to be comfortable. You weren't made to sit back and let life pass you by. You have fire in you. You have strength that's just waiting to be unleashed. But you'll never know that if you keep running from fear. You'll never know who you could be, what you could achieve if you don't stand up and face it. There are two kinds of people in this world, those who let fear control them and those who use fear as fuel. Which one are you going to be? Because let me tell you, the people who make a difference, the people who change lives, who leave a mark, they're not the ones who played it safe. They're the ones who felt the fear and moved forward anyway. They're the ones who took the risks, who put themselves out there, who fell, got up, and tried again, and again, and again, until fear wasn't something that held them back anymore. It became something that drove them. Now, I know what you're thinking. It's easy to talk about facing fear. It's easy to stand here and say, go for it. Don't be afraid. But when you're in that moment, when you're staring down your fears, when everything in you is screaming to run, that's not easy. And I'm not here to pretend that it is. I'm not here to sugarcoat this. Facing your fears is one of the hardest things you will ever do. It's uncomfortable. It's painful. It'll test you in ways you can't imagine. But here's the thing, that pain, that discomfort, that's where the magic happens. That's where you grow. Because growth doesn't happen in your comfort zone. It doesn't happen when you're sitting back watching from the sidelines. Growth happens when you step into the fire, when you feel the heat and keep moving forward. That's where you find out what you're made of. So I'm asking you right now, are you willing to step into the fire? Are you willing to let go of that need for comfort, that need for safety, and take the risk? Because if you are, if you're ready to face your fears, then you're about to find out something incredible. You're about to find out that you are stronger than you ever thought possible. You're about to find out that the limits you thought you had, they're nothing but illusions. They're lines that fear drew in the sand, hoping you'd never cross them, but you can cross them. You can push past them. You can go further, be more, achieve more than you ever thought possible. And don't think for a second that you're alone in this. Every person you admire, every person who has done something great, they all faced fear. They all had moments when they thought they couldn't do it. But they didn't let that stop them. They didn't let that define them. They took that fear and used it. They let it fuel them, let it push them forward. And you can do the same. Fear isn't going to go away. Let's be clear about that. It'll be there every time you step outside your comfort zone, every time you try to do something new. But you don't have to let it control you. You don't have to let it decide for you. You have the power to choose. You have the power to look fear in the eye and say, you're not in control. I am. And think about what happens when you do that. Think about how your life changes. When you stop letting fear dictate your choices, when you stop letting it keep you small, you open yourself up to possibilities you never dreamed of. You give yourself the chance to live fully, to live boldly, to live without regrets. Because that's what this is really about, isn't it? It's about living a life you're proud of, a life where you didn't hold back, where you didn't let fear stop you from going after what you wanted. It's about looking back someday and knowing that you gave it everything, that you faced your fears, that you lived on your own terms. That's the kind of life worth living. That's the kind of legacy worth leaving. So I'm asking you right here, right now, are you ready to face your fears? Are you ready to take that step to push past the limits that fear has set for you? Because if you are, then you're already halfway there. The moment you decide, the moment you commit, you've already won half the battle. Fear may be big, but it's not bigger than you. It may be loud, but it's not louder than your courage. So go out there and show fear what you're made of. Show it that it doesn't own you, that it doesn't control you. This is your life. This is your time. And you're not here to let fear keep you small. You're here to live boldly, to take risks, to push limits, to be the best version of yourself. And that starts with facing your fears right here, right now. So stand up, take a deep breath, and take that first step. Don't run from fear, run toward it. Because on the other side of fear is everything you've ever wanted. Let's talk about what happens when you finally take that first step, when you decide once and for all to stand up and look fear right in the face. Because that moment right there is the turning point. That moment is when you stop running. And I want you to feel that in every fiber of your being. I want you to picture it. You're there, standing on the edge, heart pounding, hands shaking. Every instinct is telling you to turn back, to walk away. But something deep inside says, not this time I'm ready, this time I'm not backing down. You see, facing your fears isn't just about a single moment of courage. It's about transformation. It's about stepping into the fire, letting it burn away all the self-doubt, all the insecurities, all the lies that fear has fed you for so long. And it's not just a one-time deal. No, fear will test you again and again. Every new challenge, every new dream, it's going to be right there waiting to see if you'll fold. But every time you choose to face it, you get stronger. Every time you choose to push through, you grow. And let me tell you something, the more you face your fears, the less control they have over you. Because here's the truth, fear is just an illusion. It's a mirage. It looks real, it feels real, but it only has as much power as you give it. When you stand up to fear, when you say, I'm not afraid of you anymore, it starts to crumble. The power it once held over you fades little by little until one day you realize it was never real in the first place. It was just a shadow, a story, a lie that kept you from being who you were meant to be. Now, I'm not saying this is easy. It takes everything you've got to face down fear. It takes courage, yes, but it also takes faith. Faith in yourself, faith in your own strength, faith in the belief that you are bigger than any challenge that comes your way. Because here's the thing, fear will always make you feel small. It'll try to convince you that you're not enough, that you're not strong enough, smart enough, brave enough. But you are enough. You've always been enough. Think about it. Think about all the times in your life when you doubted yourself, when you thought you didn't have what it takes. And yet here you are. You survived. You made it through every obstacle, every hardship, every moment of doubt. You are still standing. You are still here. That's strength. That's resilience. And if you can make it through everything life has thrown at you so far, what makes you think you can't handle what's ahead? You have a choice to make right now. You can either let fear continue to control your life or enjoy and take that power back. You can decide once and for all that fear doesn't get to decide for you anymore. That you are the one in control. And when you make that choice, when you truly commit to it, everything changes. You start to see opportunities where you once saw obstacles. You start to see potential where you once saw limits. You start to see that the only thing standing in your way is the story you've been telling yourself all along. Because let's be honest, fear isn't really about the things outside of you. It's not about the risks, the unknowns, the uncertainties. Fear is about what's inside of you. It's about the beliefs you hold, the doubts you carry, the stories you've told yourself for years. But here's the thing, you can change those stories. You can rewrite them. You can decide right here, right now, that you're done with the old narrative, that you're ready to step into a new chapter, a new way of thinking, a new way of being. And it all starts with one decision. One choice to face your fears, to stand up and say, I am not afraid. Because that's what it takes. It takes courage. It takes art. It takes our willingness to be uncomfortable, to be vulnerable, to let go of the need for certainty and control. And that's hard, I know, but it's also the most liberating thing you'll ever do. Because when you let go of fear, you let go of everything that's been holding you back. You free yourself to live, to dream, to grow, to be the person you were always meant to be. So ask yourself, what are you afraid of? What's the thing that's been holding you back, keeping you from going after your dreams, from living the life you want? Is it fear of failure? Fear of rejection? Fear of not being good enough? Whatever it is, it's time to face it. It's time to stop running, to stop hiding, to stop letting fear control your life. Because the truth is, you have everything you need to overcome it. You have the strength, the courage, the resilience. You have a fire inside you, a light that fear can't touch. All you have to do is let it shine. Imagine what your life would look like if you stopped letting fear decide for you. Imagine what you could achieve, who you could become, if you faced every challenge, every obstacle, every moment of doubt with courage. You would be unstoppable. You would be limitless. Because that's what happens when you face your fears. You break free. You break free from the chains that have been holding you back, from the limitations that you once believed were real. You step into a world of possibilities, a world where you can be, do, and achieve anything you set your mind to. And yes, it's going to be hard. There will be days when you want to give up, when the fear feels too big, too overwhelming. But those are the days that matter most. Those are the days that define you, because it's easy to keep going when everything is going your way, when the path is clear, when there's no resistance. But it's in those hard moments, those moments when fear is at its loudest, that you truly find out what you're made of. It's in those moments that you build strength, resilience, courage. And every time you push through, every time you keep going despite the fear, you get stronger. You become more. You become unstoppable. So don't let fear hold you back. Don't let it keep you from living the life you want, from being the person you were meant to be. Face it. Embrace it. Let it fuel you. Let it push you to new heights, to new possibilities, to a new way of living. Because that's what this is really about. It's about freedom. Freedom from fear, from doubt. Freedom, doubt. Freedom from limitations. It's about living a life where you're not controlled by what ifs and maybes, but driven by passion, purpose, and courage. And if you can do that, if you can face your fears, there's nothing you can't achieve. There's no dream too big, no goal too far, no obstacle too great. Because you have everything you need inside you. You have the strength, the courage, the fire. All you have to do is let it out. So here's the challenge. The next time fear tries to hold you back, the next time it tells you to stay small, to play it safe, I want you to look it in the eye and say, not today. I want you to stand up, to dig deep, to find that fire within you and let it burn brighter than any fear, any doubt, any limitation. Because you are stronger than fear. You are bigger than fear. And you have everything you need to overcome it. Remember, this life is too short to live in fear. It's too short to play small, to settle, to let fear decide for you. So take a deep breath, stand tall, and face your fears. Because on the other side of fear is everything you've ever wanted. On the other side of fear is the life you've been dreaming of. And the only way to get there is to face it, to conquer it, to rise above it. Here's the reality we're all facing. Life is never going to stop challenging us. There will always be another fear, another moment, another obstacle. That's life. But that's also the beauty of it. Because every challenge, every fear, every moment of uncertainty is an invitation. It's a chance for you to dig deeper, to find new levels of strength, to see just how much you're capable of. And let me tell you, when you rise to meet those challenges, when you stare down those fears, you unlock a power inside you that you never even knew existed. Think about it. Think about a time in your life when you faced something you thought you couldn't handle. Maybe it was a loss, a failure, a heartbreak. Maybe it was a time when everything seemed to be going wrong, when the weight of the world was pressing down on you. And yet, here you are. You made it through. You survived. You found a way to keep going, even when it felt impossible. And that wasn't luck. That wasn't a fluke. That was you. That was your strength, your resilience, your will to keep fighting. And if you could make it through that, then what makes you think you can't handle whatever comes next? What makes you think you're not strong enough to face your fears, to take on new challenges, to reach for new dreams? Because you are more than capable. You are more than strong enough. And every time you face a fear, every time you push through, you get even stronger. This journey you're on, it's not supposed to be easy. It's not supposed to be comfortable. It's supposed to test you, to push you, to force you to grow. Because that's how you become the person you were meant to be. That's how you unlock your true potential. And yes, it's going to hurt. Yes, it's going to be uncomfortable. But that's the price of greatness. That's the price of living a life that's truly yours. A life that's not defined by fear, but by courage, by strength, by resilience. And let me tell you something, every single one of us has fears. Every single one of us has moments when we want to run, when we want to give up, when we think we're not enough. But the people who make a difference, the people who change the world, the people who live lives they're proud of, they're the ones who face those fears. They're the ones who feel the doubt, the uncertainty, the discomfort, and keep going anyway. They're the ones who refuse to let fear define them, who refuse to let it hold them back. Because here's the truth, you are not your fear. You are not your doubts, your insecurities, your mistakes. You are so much more than that. You are strength, you are resilience, you are courage, and you have the power to rise above anything that comes your way. But that power doesn't come from running away. It doesn't come from staying safe, from playing small, from avoiding challenges. It comes from facing your fears, from stepping outside your comfort zone, from choosing courage over comfort every single day. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. You might be thinking, but what if I fail? What if I try and I fall short? And I get it. Failure is scary. But let me ask you this, what's scarier, failing or never even trying? Because here's the thing, failure is not the end. Failure is not a sign that you're not good enough. Failure is simply part of the process. It's a stepping stone, a lesson, a chance to grow. And every time you fail, every time you fall, you get one step closer to success. You get one step closer to becoming the person you were meant to be. So don't let the fear of failure hold you back. Don't let it keep you from going after what you want, from taking risks, from stepping outside your comfort zone. Because the only true failure is never even trying. The only true failure is letting fear make your choices for you, letting it keep you from living the life you want. So take the risk, face the fear. And if you fall, get back up. Keep going. Keep pushing. Because every time you do, you get stronger. Every time you do, you get closer to achieving your dreams. And remember this, you are not alone. Every person you admire, every person who has achieved greatness, they all face fear. They all had moments when they wanted to give up, when they doubted themselves, when they thought they couldn't do it. But they kept going. They kept pushing. And that's what made the difference. That's what set them apart. So don't think for a second that you're the only one who feels this way. Don't think that you're the only one who struggles with fear, with doubt, with insecurity. We all do. But the people who make it, the people who live lives they're proud of, they're the ones who face it head on, who refuse to let it stop them. So stand up, take a deep breath, and take that first step. It doesn't matter if it's small. It doesn't matter if you're scared. What matters is that you're moving forward, that you're choosing courage over fear, that you're refusing to let fear control you. Because every time you take a step forward, every time you face a fear, you get one step closer to becoming the person you were meant to be. And let me tell you something, there is no greater feeling in the world than that. There is no greater feeling than looking back and knowing that you faced your fears, that you pushed through the doubts, that you gave it everything you had. There is no greater feeling than knowing that you didn't let fear control you, that you lived life on your own terms, that you went after your dreams with everything you had. So don't let fear hold you back. Don't let it keep you from living the life you want, from being the person you were meant to be. Face it. Embrace it. Let it fuel you. Let it push you to new heights, to new possibilities, to a new way of living. Because that's what this is really about. It's about freedom. Freedom from fear, freedom from doubt, freedom from limitations. It's about living a life where you're not controlled by what ifs and maybes, but driven by passion, purpose, and courage. So I ask you now, what are you going to do with that fear? Are you going to let it hold you back? Or are you going to take that fear, take that doubt, and use it as fuel? Because that's your choice. That's your power. Fear may be big, but it's not bigger than you. It may be loud, but it's not louder than your courage. And every time you choose to face it, every time you choose to rise above it, you are one step closer to becoming the person you were always meant to be. Imagine standing alone, surrounded by silence, with only the sound of your own heartbeat echoing in your chest. In that moment, you feel small, vulnerable, and exposed. This is what fear does. It strips you down, takes away your sense of security, and leaves you standing on the edge, questioning everything you thought you knew about yourself. But that feeling right there, that moment of raw vulnerability, that's where real growth begins. Because in that moment, you have a choice. You can let the fear overwhelm you. Let it convince you that you're not strong enough, that you're not worthy, that you should just turn back. Or you can dig deep, find that inner fire, and stand tall, refusing to let fear dictate your path. Now, let's talk about what happens when you do that. Let's talk about what happens when you choose to face fear, not just once, but every single time it shows up. When you start to stand up to fear, something incredible happens. It starts to lose its grip. It starts to lose its power. Because every time you face it, every time you refuse to let it control you, you chip away at its strength. And over time, you realize that fear was never as big, as powerful, or as terrifying as it seemed. You start to see it for what it is: a shadow, a whisper, a paper tiger. But let me tell you, getting to that point isn't easy. It takes more than just courage. It takes perseverance. It takes resilience. It takes a willingness to be uncomfortable, to be vulnerable, to face parts of yourself that you might rather ignore. Because fear isn't just about the things outside of you. It's not just about the risks, the unknowns, the challenges. It's also about the things inside of you, the doubts, the insecurities, the stories you've been telling yourself for years. As you take on these challenges, remember that setbacks are a natural part of the process. There will be times when things don't go as planned. Embrace these moments as learning opportunities rather than failures. Each setback offers valuable lessons that can inform your future decisions and help you refine your approach. One of the most empowering aspects of facing fear is that it expands your comfort zone. Every time you push the boundaries of what feels comfortable, you create space for growth and new experiences. With each step into the unknown, your comfort zone widens, allowing you to tackle increasingly challenging situations with confidence. Now, let's take a moment to reflect on the impact of fear on our relationships. Fear can often lead to isolation or avoidance. When we allow fear to dictate our actions, we may withdraw from meaningful connections, miss opportunities for collaboration, or shy away from open conversations. By facing your fears, you create space for authenticity in your relationships. You open the door to deeper connections, fostering an environment where others feel safe to share their own struggles. This mutual vulnerability strengthens bonds and creates a sense of belonging, a reminder that we are all in this together. As you navigate this journey of facing fear, it's also important to practice gratitude. Cultivating gratitude shifts your focus from what you lack or fear to what you have and appreciate. Gratitude enhances your emotional well-being, boosts resilience, and helps you maintain a positive perspective. In moments of fear, take a step back and reflect on the aspects of your life for which you are grateful. This practice can serve as a powerful reminder of your strengths and support systems. Gratitude allows you to approach challenges with a sense of hope and positivity, reinforcing the belief that you are capable of overcoming obstacles. As we approach the conclusion of this speech, let's take a moment to reflect on the profound impact that facing fear can have on our lives. It is a journey filled with challenges, growth, and transformation. Each time you confront a fear, you are not only expanding your own horizons, but also inspiring others to do the same. So as you stand at the crossroads of fear and courage, I encourage you to take that leap. Embrace the discomfort. Acknowledge the emotions and step into the unknown. You are not alone in this journey. Each of us carries our fears, but it is how we respond to those fears that defines our path. Face your fears, don't run from them. In doing so, you will discover the beauty of resilience, the power of vulnerability, and the strength that lies within you. As you embrace this journey, remember that every step you take is a testament to your courage and determination. And now, as we come to a close, let me leave you with this. Fear is not the enemy, it is a teacher. It shows us our limits, our potential, and the possibilities that lie beyond. So go forth, embrace your fears, and step into the life you were meant to live. Thank you.